What's up, YouTube? Kedris here, talking about my match reaction to Wrexham 3, Forest 3 in the FA Cup. We lost on penalties 4-3 with misses from Igor Jesus and Omari Hutchinson. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have much thought in this video. I kind of drank a little bit and decided why not just wing it. It's a reaction after all. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get into each player. I'm going to talk about some of the tactics. I'm going to talk about the incompetency, the continued incompetency of Sean Dyche. And why I think right now is the perfect time for him to be sacked. You know, I think coming into this match, I obviously, if you saw my preview post I had on YouTube, I wasn't putting much emphasis on this match winning or losing it. I think it's an unnecessary competition in a season where we're struggling and we really need to show up in Europe in order to stay kind of relevant in the transfer overview. But at the end of the day, if you're going to put out the starters, if you're going to put out players who play regularly in the Premier League, a result is at that point expected, and the fact that it wasn't gotten is unacceptable. So moving on to the player ratings, I think the SofaScore ratings are very generous. I think we're actually a lot worse than some of these ratings have us. I'll start at the back as I normally do with Sells. Sells to me looks kind of like he's not 100%. A little slow to react. I think he should have saved the second goal from Rathbone. I understand that we're looking at goalkeepers in the transfer window right now. I'll do a transfer video after this one talking about some of the ones we're linked to, but we're looking at goalkeepers, we're looking at 10s, and we're looking at strikers. I don't think that's the issue. I would prefer we actually don't sign any players. I prefer we just sack the manager and hire a new manager, because there's going to be a fee with sacking Dyche, and I think the money that could go towards a transfer should be used for that fee to sack Dyche. But that's just me. Feel free to disagree if you want to. Leave a comment down below. I love responding to comments. It's actually the reason I started this channel. Is because I want to talk to other people. And I think I talked to a friend of mine in the community. I think we're gonna do something next week. I'll let you know how it goes. Moving on to right back, Savona. Solid match. Nothing wrong. He had 2 assists, grid crosses for those assists. Couple of his crosses went haywire, but overall I think there's nothing wrong with him. I don't think he should have been subbed off. He was the least of our problems. I've always said I believe Savona is a good player. I think he's a really good quality squad depth player. I don't think he's prone to mistakes, not as much as Murato, but I think that's the only reason I wouldn't start him in a starting lineup in the Premier League. But he made a good case for himself. He really did. Jair Cunha didn't put a foot wrong. I didn't notice him, which if you're a center back is the highest praise I can give. He didn't put a foot wrong, and his partner, Murato, put every foot wrong that could have possibly been put wrong. So Jair, I think, is another indictment for him that he should get some minutes in the Premier League. Do we go to a 3-back system? It seems to be all the rage with the new Chelsea manager going to a 3-back. Amrin was a 3-back. Glasner is a 3-back. I think we have the players to do it, and with this Murato performance being so atrocious, we might actually get Jair Cunha instead of Murato in a back 3, which would be what I would like to see. I think it could be really, really interesting. But that probably won't happen. Not with Dyche anyways. Murato, I don't even know what to say, man. Like, just leave. Just like sell him. Like, get him gone. I would rather see 34-year-old Willie Bolly start ahead of Morata. Like, he's just embarrassing. Like, he's so pathetic. And I just praised him for like, I didn't praise him, but he came on during West Ham game, and I said he didn't put a foot wrong. He was fine. And then he doing does that. Get out, bro. Trash. Zinchenko. Has he? I can't think of a single match where Zinchenko's been good. And by the way, that counterattack they had at the end of the first half, where it was that Smith guy one on one with Sells, was because Zinchenko tried to take a quick free kick and had it freaking intercepted. Like a moron. Like an idiot. He's so bad. I don't understand why anyone thinks he's a good player. He doesn't even play left back for his country. He plays as the 10. I would be okay with him in the 10. At least then he can be sorry away from my goal. Like, it's just, he needs to go back to Arsenal. We could be looking at Cubano, but apparently there's some issues with him. He might be going to Olympiacos or back to Botafogo. But I tell you right now, if I ever see Zinchenko on the freaking team sheet ever again, I mean, actually, you know what? What am I going to do? I'm already a dice out. I'm already getting to the point where I'm about to say Edu out as well. Like, James McAtee, shit. He's been shit. We played him in a 10 against Swansea. He was shit. Play him in the 8 here. He was shit. I said before that what he needs is the game to be slowed down because he's not very good. And that works in Manchester City, where they have a lot of the possession in the game. The way Pep plays it slows it down a lot. So that's perfect for him, a shit player like him. But in a team like ours, where we're more physical, counterattacking, he's shit, and he doesn't have the pace to play on the wing, or the technical dribbling ability, the explosiveness to play on the wing. So he has to play the 10 for me, and he's shit. What else can I say? Douglas Luiz reprised his role as an ineffective 6. Once again, that's not what he is. It's not what he's good at. He can do a job like he did in the second half, but to utilize him the most effectively and to get his long shots, to get his creativity, you need to play him in the attacking 8, where McAtee was, or you need to play him in the 10, which he was not. He was kept well away from goal. He played very deep. He had a shot in the first half, but outside of that, didn't do much. I won't say he was shit, but he definitely wasn't utilized to the best of his abilities. Dan and Doy. A lot of people have been crapping on Dan and Doy. Ran the ball out of play a couple times. I think if you have expectations for Dan and Doy, it was probably a bad game for you. But if your expectations for him are on the floor like mine are, he had an okay game. Like, he didn't create anything, he didn't really do anything, but he also didn't like do something terrible like Hutchinson did. Speaking of Hutchinson, he's not a 10. I said this from the moment we signed him. He doesn't have the physicality, the spatial awareness to be a 10. He's a winger. That's what he is. Cry about it, mauled about it. He is a freaking winger, bro. A winger. He's not a 10. He doesn't have the physicality to play as a 10. He's a winger. He has the technical ability and explosiveness and the speed to play on the wing that McAtee lacks. He was very responsible for losing the ball in one of the goals. I can't remember which one. There's a lot of them. But he had a shit performance. He took the ball out of play once or twice when he was on the wing, especially when he got confident after he made one of his shots, kind of was really close to the bar. But I mean, he was playing the wrong position. I mean, what else do you want me to say? Dice ball. Bakwa. Well, I guess the best thing I can say about him is he wasn't shit. He was just kind of there. He was there. He didn't make any. He didn't create much. Didn't beat anybody. But he didn't put a foot wrong. And you know, being not shit is a compliment. You know, I think he got hooked. I don't know why he started on the left. Once again, why are we playing wingers with the left-footed winger on the left and the right-footed winger on the right? That means all they can do is cross the ball. When you're playing against a 3-back system, you're playing against 3 center backs, so crossing the ball is not that effective. The best way to play against a 3-back system is triangles on the wing to put a player in behind. It's simple stuff. Dude, this is simple stuff, man. Easy tactics, bro. Simple things that you learn elementary level football. Igor Jesus, why are we playing long ball FC against a championship team? And that's not even me starting on Igor, who I thought had an atrocious match. Couldn't hold the ball up. I don't think he won a single one. His passes weren't that good. He did have a good cross or two once he got the ball in the box. But he kept coming deep too much. Why are we playing long ball FC against a championship club? I don't understand. It baffles me why we weren't keeping the ball on the ground and playing with our more technical players. These are all technical players. Luis, Jesus, Hutchinson, McAtee, Bakwa. You can't make me say Ndoye. I'm not doing it. All these are very technical players, and what do they lack? What is their weakness? Physicality. Well, not for Luis, but for the rest of them. Actually, not Igor either, although he did lose out physically in this match. Physicality. So what's the ethos of long ball football? Being physical, winning the headers. It's so stupid. Like, you have to be brain dead to play that way. Is that all the players? Yeah. So moving on to the bench, the players that came on, Nico Williams. I love Nico Williams. He is by far my most favorite player. And outside of that, I don't know why he was on the pitch. Like, Savona was doing fine. Like, nothing against Nico. And I guess he came on as left back for a bit. So he played left back for Zinchenko, which Zinchenko was dog shit. So I like that. But give the guy a rest, bro. He'd be busting a gut. Being our best player for like 5 or 6 games now. Give him a rest. Why are we playing him? Just tiring him out for no reason? Dominguez. I didn't really. I mean, he won the ball a lot when he came on. Kept it ticking when he got it. I got no problem with Dominguez. I think honestly he should be starting for us right now. Could make a case for him to play over Anderson. Which, thank God, the only player who didn't play was Anderson, because that guy also needs a rest. But we should have also respected Nico Williams in that way too, and Igor Jesus, if I'm trying to be fair. Morgan Gibbs-White actually came on, affected the match. Attacking wise, was very good. Didn't have an assist or a goal, but did create a lot of the opportunities. Shouldn't have had to use him. Um, but at least I think we found exactly where his level's at. I think we understand now that 150 grand a week is not the answer. Please sell him. Ex post facto, quickly, please. Kyle Hudson-Odoi came on, was excellent. Uh, he was all over the pitch, actually. If you really pay attention to his movement and like where he was at, he was on the left side, but he would also come inside and play kind of like that left 10, like a left 10 role. At one point, he like made his way into the box and was on the right side. He put it in a cross. He actually scored one of his goals from that right side of the box, where he kind of like got it and he like shot it in a looping arc over the keeper, which was a great shot. No complaints from him. I wish he'd do that more in like actual Premier League matches, but maybe the championship's his level. Who knows? Awani, I think that score is a little low, it's a little disingenuous. I don't think he put a foot wrong, really. I think I can't remember him having any bad touches or terrible touches, unless I'm missing something. But I did see him a couple times where the ball came to him and he kind of peeled away from the center backs and he would get the ball and he'd quickly pass it, one touch pass to somebody else, which gives me hope for his ability to play football outside of being a physical monstrosity. Murillo, I feel like I can make a case for Murillo to start at left back moving forward. He was just picking up such good spots and like when he'd get the ball, he'd be moving it inside the box quickly. He was in the little half spaces in between the center backs and the midfielders for Wrexham. And he really affected the game and created opportunities for people in the box that obviously they didn't take. But I could make a real case for Murillo to be a left back. And I think actually he made a really good case for a three-back system. Because if you have him in a three-back system, he can be more aggressive. He can make those inside runs and be higher up the pitch, affecting play. So, I mean, and he has the recovery pace. So I mean, it was interesting. It was very interesting. Gunn, I don't know why he didn't start. This was a prime opportunity for him to get minutes. Milinkovic maybe should have come on for Morato, but if you're bringing on Murillo and you're not bringing off Morato, I think that says a lot about whether Morato was ever going to come off that pitch or not. Zach Abbott, I think he should have started. I think he should have got minutes. At this point, he's just a poster boy that's on our bench so we can keep the streak going of having an academy player on our bench. I don't know why that fucking streak is important, but bro, whatever. Talk about the managers. I watched Phil Parkinson's Wrexham play better football than Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest. I think their players are making a lot of 1-2 passes to get out of like presses and situations. Could the Forest players, could our club had more energy? Maybe. But that in the same time, why are we playing all of our starters in a FA Cup game? Why were kids not put in? We're a Premier League team. And kids give energy and enthusiasm because, you know, this is their chance to prove themselves. And I think that kind of energy and enthusiasm was missing from the match. But yeah, Wrexham done a good job coming up from League Two all the way to the Championship. I think they had back-to-back promotion seasons. The goalkeeper Okonkwo has been with them most of that time. Parkinson's been the manager. It looked good. The fullbacks were making good runs. Obviously, I think once they made, I think they showed their that they were a championship side once they started making substitutions, and you just saw the quality drop tremendously from that little interplay they had before. Sean Dyche, Sean Dyche. Get the fuck out of my club. Get the fuck out. You're fucking dog shit. Why are we playing long ball FC against a championship club? No disrespect to Wrexham. I like Wrexham. I like Ryan Reynolds. But why are we playing fucking long ball FC with a championship club? And then you go and you put the wingers, left-footed winger on the left side, a right-footed winger on the right side. So all they're going to do is cross the ball. Because they're not going to shoot their weaker foot. It's just blatantly stupid. Tired of this manager, man. Also, may have had a little bit to drink, so that could be also why. I'm usually calmer. But it's just ridiculous. So when we had the ball, we were kind of playing like this a little bit. So when we built up, like Jesus would be up here, McAtee would be here. These guys would be like up here, kind of pushing the touchline a little bit. Zinchenko would come inside, but he also stay wide. Marato, Jair, Savona, and then we just get the ball, play here, and they would press. So what would happen was that you'd have him up against these guys would be really tight inside. Dobson, Sheath, Rathbone, Smith. Smith would be kind of like pushed up here. Sorry, I'm getting used to this thing, but he'd be pushed up here. Kind of against Marato, but he'd switch across. But whoever was there, like it'd be Rathbone or it'd be Broadhead, would kind of be harassing Louise. So Louise would get the ball. Try to like turn, but couldn't turn, so he just played out to Savona, who had the fullbacks up against him. Then you'd have Baku in them inside. And that's kind of like how that'd be played. And because Louise would get swarmed with the players, he would never be able to play it back in. So he'd have to play it back to the fullback. And once that happened, you just got this going on right here, where these guys would go like that. So if Back would try to come in sometimes, Longman would just follow him. That's why sometimes Murata was able to play to Zinchenko, but Zinchenko would just have to play it back. So, like, I mean, we just tactically outclassed, but I mean, it was pretty easy to do, to be honest. And then once we got up the pitch, got into the box, we were able to get the ball out wide to the wingers. The issue was the wingers were on the side with the same foot, so the only thing they could do was make this run here. Because their weak foot is that one, so they can only make outside runs. And that pretty much limited our outside options. I mean, it did help with pinning the fullbacks in, though, because they would go play them 1v1. And that's why we got a lot of joy in these spaces here. If you notice, a lot of our shots came from this area. So, like, especially when Morgan Gibbs White came on, they would be in this area, would be getting the shots. But the reason we didn't have that in the first half was because we couldn't get the ball up the pitch in the first place very, very efficiently. So what would happen is we'd be taking half-ass chance shots and like trying to get the ball in with crosses. That didn't really result in anything. Once Morgan Gibbs White came on and all the rest of them, you saw a lot of that. Like when Callum Hudson-Odoi came on. Let's see here. I think Barry should have played, by the way. I put him in my post for the lineup, and he didn't play. I don't understand why. Sinclair, I think, should have played. It's just embarrassing, really. Really is just embarrassing. But anyways, once Backwell came off, you saw Hutchinson go to this side. And then I think it was Morgan Gibbs White came in, and that's when you started seeing that joy right there in the space. It's because he would come into this little half space right here. Who came off for McAtee? It was Dominguez. That's right. So it'd be Dominguez that came on. And Dominguez was good because what he would do is he'd drop into this little space here, and he'd do little one-touch balls out, and then he'd make the run up the pitch, and he was kind of like flirting around in this area, that little half space I was talking about. And so you'd have like these guys kind of like right here covering here, but like I said, you got these little spaces, and these guys would be doubling up on the wingers. And Smith would kind of help out a little bit here. And Louise would kind of be cleaning the ball up because Smith would be a little higher, so Louise would be kind of cleaning it up a little bit. Jair Morato. Yeah, Savona. Zinchenko would come inside sometimes. But as you can see, like the space is there, and there. I mean, what can you say? Doy came off for Hudson-Odoi, so you had Hutchinson. Now you have a freaking wingers. I know, shock horror. You have wingers that can cut inside. I know, insane, bro. Now all of a sudden you take away just the threat of him out to cover that. Now he can go this way, he can go this way, and you see a lot more joy from that. And that created space for Savona to make crosses. He had to come in because Gibbs White was taking that half space. And you just pushed him further and further back. And you were getting a lot of crosses from Savona. Zinchenko came off, and you have Murillo. Where is he at? Where's he at? You'd have Murillo kind of like sitting here in the half space. So anytime Hudson-Odoi would have the ball and he'd win, and Rathbone kind of have to, or whoever was in that right 10 had to come help. Murillo was in that little half space, would just play it, and then he'd immediately play the ball inside to like Dominguez or to Jesus, or maybe to MGW. But yeah, amazing what happens when you put wingers who can cut in and take shots, huh? And then you had Hudson-Odoi who would be all over the pitch. He'd pick the ball up here, pass it. He'd make runs here. So he was all around. That's why he was very effective, because like his goal came from this little shot when he got in the space right here from Savona crossing it, and then he just shot over the keeper. But yeah, so that was the match overall. Penalties. You know, you're gonna miss some. You're gonna lose those sometimes. I can't really say much about that. I do think I said a lot that Igor missed his penalty. I've been saying he's not really a out-and-out striker, and that penalty was very damning evidence against him. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Apparently nowhere. I don't hear any rumblings about him being sacked. It seems to be only the fans are calling for Sean Dyche's head. And I think I said in my video before, we need to accept and internalize he's just going to be our manager till the end of the season. We're going to get a striker probably. Seem to be heavily pushing towards it. Transfer video coming out. But this is the ball we're going to have to watch, man. I don't know if this is gonna do it in Europe. I really don't. We need to be better. Maybe maybe we can get somebody who can make a difference. I don't know. I'm kind of really depressed. I've been drinking a little bit, so this isn't a really fun video to make at this time, but I think we did a good comprehensive breakdown. I think we got my thoughts on everything out of the way. If you like the video, hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment. Like I keep saying, the comment part is what I really look forward to, like hearing feedback on our team, on me. Maybe I need to do something for content. I know I have like a monotone voice, but there's nothing I can do about that. I was born this way, or maybe I was developed this way. Who knows? Well, that's the video. And at the end of the day, as much as it hurts, come on, you Reds.